Hello, good morning, everyone. Once again, we're back here at another episode of the 25 Centavo Change Podcast. I'm your host, MJ, author MJ, and I'm going to share and I'm going to tell a lot of stories right now, which is related still to our 25 Centavo Change. In this podcast, we will look into or we will explore the hidden treasures of life's valuable lessons, one coin at a time. In this case, we'll be looking into the 25 centavo coin. Once again, thank you so much sa pagsama po sa aking previous episodes. I also considered the messages or the PMs that I've been receiving from the previous episodes. Thank you so much for the support from my friends all over the world. Para hindi ko na isa-isahin. Just to save time. Because time, just like money, is gold. Okay, so let's go. In this podcast, we will find that the simplest things, just like the coins, are found in different shapes and sizes and even in denominations. These simple coins are lessons or wisdoms. Marami tayong matututunan from this. Sometimes, we feel like wala naman siyang relevance in our life. But then, time and again, at the present, yung past na nangyari noon, akala natin walang relevance sa ngayon. But then, marirealize na lang natin one day, it is very important pala yun sa ating growth. Kaya naman, join me as we explore more of the coins of wisdom. This is episode 5 of the 25 Centavo Change Podcast. Maalala nyo ba yung song that says, love is something that you give it away. And then we talk about penny and it comes right back to you. Diba? Hindi ko alam yung lyrics but maalala nyo. If you remember that, something about penny, about money, something that you give away and it comes right back to you. So kung ano yung kaya mong i-share at kaya mong ibigay, babalik at babalik din yan sa'yo. Sometimes they say in hundredfold. So today we'll be encouraging everyone else to not just share their coins or their money, but also their wisdom. So let us dig deeper into this story. In the book, The 25 Centavo Change, A Tale of Loss and Values Gain, we talk about not just the money. So last time, hindi natin sinasabi na, okay, ayan, nagsasalita siya ng coins of wisdom and she's talking about siguro mayaman na siya, siguro ganito na siya. No, we're talking about the wisdom that we earned simula nung bata pa tayo until now that lumalaki tayo. So remember, every coin holds a story. What's yours? Mine is this. I realized that though money is important in one's life, syempre, kahit sabi nila, money cannot buy happiness, but it can make you happy. It can make people happy, of course, pag nabubusog. And we need money to buy food, we need money to buy something that would make us happy. So, in saying so, yan, nakarami na ako ng so. In saying so, the story behind the coin or the coins of wisdom comes from different people. When I was younger, when we say younger, not so long ago, we feel like paglaki ko, when I turn like this and like that, dapat may ganito na ako, dapat may ganyan na ako. Sino sa inyo, raise your hand or react? Sino sa inyo dito yung ganun yung mindset dati when they were younger? Of course, sino ba naman ang hindi mangarap na sana maging better yung life ko, sana maging better din yung life na magiging future family ko, and yung hindi mo maranasang magutom first and foremost. Syempre kapag kailangan mo ng pera, pag kailangan mo ng pera, sana nandyan lang at hindi ganun kahirap. However, sa generation o sa nangyayari sa atin ngayon, we do acknowledge na nagiging mas mahirap ang buhay. Nagiging mas mahirap yung mga bagay na Akala natin dati parang daling abutin. Kasi meron tayo dati. Pero doon natin nare-realize that as time goes on, nauubos din ng pera. But the wisdom that we gain from those coins or experiences in our lives, hindi siya nauubos. Bagkus nadadagdagan siya, dumadami siya. From there and natututunan natin na hindi na natin dapat ginagawa yung isang bagay kung saan tayo nagkamali. Na hindi na dapat natin ginagawa yung isang bagay kung saan tayo nakasakit. Na dapat ang mas gawin natin ay yung isang bagay na mag-uplift sa life natin and also sa life ng ibang tao. Ano bang sinasabi niya? Okay, this is what I'm talking about. In the coins of wisdom, you gain a lot of friends even in your younger years, high school, and to college. Some of these people would remain until now. Some of those ay sa totoo lang, kagaya ng lahat ng sinasabi ng mga influencers or inspirational speakers or motivational speakers, na as we mature, nawawala or nababawasan yung circle natin. And when we find this time, don't be afraid na, oh my God, wala na akong friends. It only means that you're starting to see or starting to love yourself, to see how worthy you are. Since nakikita mo na yung sarili mo in even few circles, pero andyan pa rin yung mga kaibigan mo, may mga tao pa rin who will be supporting you. And when you get closer to yourself, doon mo nare-realize na, okay, yung mga bagay na pinaka-iiwas-iwasan ko noon kasi hindi gusto ng circle of friends ko na gawin ko, now I can do it. And I can see who I am now. I can see what I can do. I can see what I can contribute to the world at large, to the society at large. Hindi ba? So hindi ka na napipigil or nabibigyan ng wall na, ay, wag mong gawin yan kasi ganito, ganyan. Ay, dapat hindi natin ginagawa yan kasi ganito. Kasi hindi siya maganda sa image or hindi maganda sa friendship. If we're talking about friendships or that kind of relationship. For those who are married as well, of course, minsan our partners does not necessarily agree doon sa gusto nating gawin in life. And it's difficult to be explaining. We are coming from a situation or a perspective wherein though you're couples, you still have different perspectives in life, you still have different motivations, you still have different, let's say, pananaw sa buhay, principles in life. There are times wherein nagko-conflict kayo. But what I learned in that is, if one is willing to listen, if one is willing to okay lang mag-away for you to listen from each other. Okay lang magbangayan, exchange your principle from each other. Kasi at least, naririnig mo kung saan siya nanggagaling at naririnig din niya kung saan siya galing at naririnig din niya kung ano ang pinagmumulan mo, anong pinagagalingan mo. Well, at times sa simula, hindi talaga siya madali. Well, learning from experience, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na agad-agad maiintindihan ng partner natin or agad-agad mauunawaan ng kapamilya natin or ng mga kakilala natin kung ano yung ginagawa natin. It's because we differ in personality. One time, my sister and I were just talking about personality, type of personality. And I was saying, what kind of personality nga ba ang meron ako? Hindi ako type A, hindi rin ako type B, hindi ako type C, there's type C, right? Well, when we delve into these personalities, well, psychologists, yung mga experts dito, mas expert sila, no? Sometimes we also have to understand kung ano or saan nanggagaling yung mga, yung kapatid natin, yung partner natin, or even yung friend natin, o yung kakilala natin, even yung workmate mo. There are times wherein kapag type A personality ka, syempre magka-clash kayo ni type B because type B is very easygoing. And when you're type A, very tight ka, very organized, and gusto mo kung paano mo siya ginawa step by step, organisado yung pagkakagawa ng mga bagay-bagay. Well, sa bahay pa lang, di ba? Kung paano nakaayos yung mga bagay-bagay, there's the conflict. Dapat naka-align yan. Highly organized. In my case, I really would be mad kapag hindi siya color-coded, hindi siya naka-arrange, at hindi siya nakaayos, and everything is in place. But sometimes, we tend to be stressed and nagkakaroon ng anxiety at nagkakaroon din ng frustration, which might lead to depression kapag masyadong mataas naman yung expectation natin from each other, from the people in your surroundings. Syempre kapamilya mo unang-una yan. So I learned to relax. That's where I became probably a type C personality na hindi ko alam kung how to say that, but when you're introverted and then suddenly become you na expose ka sa mga extro, you become ambivert yun, yata yun, no? So I'm not an expert at that, but we can dig deeper into that kind of personality. So if we consider this different kinds of personality ng tao, from this, we would understand kung saan nanggagaling yung isa. Well, it's not gonna be easy, but it will make a big difference in the way we communicate to people, in the way we can communicate to our friends, to our partners, and also to our family. In cases like, syempre, iba-ibang generation din tayo. Say for example, my communication, the way I communicate with my dad, who has a very, I don't know my dad's personality, but he is very quiet, reserved, and sometimes he just often listen. Hindi siya masyadong nagsasalita unless natapos ka na magsalita, explain your side before he would talk. And that kind of personality, syempre hindi kami magka-clash or hindi sila magka-clash with type A personality. It's because marunong siya makinig, hindi yung pareho kayo nagka-clash na nagsasalita. It would actually take time. This kind of building relationship would actually take time. And in cases or in situations, or ibalik natin sa konteksto ng you lost someone in your family. In a family, losing a loved one, may isang mawawala, may isang mamamatay, the communication will become tight. In our case, we try to spoke to our dad, who is very quiet, very reserved, and try to ask him, so, Dad, wala na si Mama, anong gagawin natin ngayon? And then the only response that we had was, let's keep moving. Let's start all over again. That's what he said. And then we were just looking at each other, and we didn't know what to say to each other because we didn't really know what one of which feel. And are you okay? Will you be okay? What is in your mind? What is in his mind? Yung mga ganun ba? In a family circle, losing someone, especially in our case our mom, there would be silence. And from this where the community or even the society would come in. When you choose to listen to the best things or the best advices that we have in our surrounding, yun yung voices that would say, it's not gonna be easy. It's always gonna be an empty seat. It's always gonna be an empty plate. It's always gonna be going home to an empty house. It's always gonna be going home to a quiet place. It's always gonna be, there is a missing picture. If you will encounter people like those who would be willing to listen and share with you the wisdom also of how they survived losing someone, how are they managing the grief, how are they managing the pain, how are they living with the pain, keep those people because they are your people. And we are so blessed, my sisters and I, my siblings and I are so blessed having this kind of people. Sad to say, they didn't come from our relatives. Sorry. It's really because, of course, if your relatives, they also lose your family members. So it's gonna be difficult for them to be advising anyway. So we got it from people around us. There was a time wherein I didn't want to speak to people. I didn't want to talk about it as well. I didn't want to process the grief. But then when I realized that one at a time, the kinds of wisdom coming from friends, from my mom's friends and my dad's friends, as we encounter them, time and again they encourage us not to forget. And that's one thing, that's why I wrote this book, is because these friends of my mom's encouraged us not to forget the life of our mom, the happy life of our mom. And if you have a family member who's gone now, and you wanted to remember the good things that happened, I highly encourage you to remember those things, the good things that happened, because it actually fuels you to do things even more, to be the best of who you are even more, to come out from your shell, to come out and speak to other people. It actually fuels your motivation to keep on doing things. Like, I know my mom would be very happy seeing me finish my studies before. That's why even if it was difficult, it was really difficult, I was able to do it with the help of people. I wouldn't say that I am here just on my own. I am here and I'm even doing this because there's a circle of friends, there's a circle of family, there's a circle of people that I have right now who's actually helping me to do the right thing. And in doing the right thing, there's not always going to be a perfect way of doing things right. It's not always going to be a straight road, straight path going to what you want, or the goals that you wanted to achieve. May keep left, keep right din tayo minsan. And there's always gonna be the time wherein we stumble. May mga pagkakataon din naman tayo na magkamali, and do not stop yourself from committing mistake. But it doesn't mean that you have to stop and just make that mistake define you. When you commit mistake, you have to make sure that from that mistake, darling, you have to learn. You have to learn from that mistake. You have to learn not to do it again, or if you do it again the next time around, you have to make sure that you got it right. Don't burn that pancake. So surrounding your surrounding yourself with the right people is not always going to be that easy. If you will not be facing or meeting people who are not difficult, toxic, with toxic personality, you would not know the feeling of having the right people in your circle. Yes, even that toxic person that you've encountered probably at work, uh, somewhere else, your friends in within the family, they will help you develop a certain personality or certain character in you. You will be able to face a lot of struggles. And this is one thing that I've learned from someone. I did not remember the name, but it says, when you lose your mom, you were given an opportunity to be strong because you were able to face something that is inevitable, yet at the same time you were able to deal with something that would develop your resilience that we actually discussed in the previous episodes. Resilience to persevere, resilience to move on, resilience to be part of something that is greater. Mind you, when Taraki TV started and I was invited to be interviewed, the first thing that I was interviewed in it was because of the book that I published, or the book that I wrote, right? And having this book, or publishing a book like this, didn't happen over time or overnight, I should say. And I did not do it on my own as well. There are people who helped me. I have a book coach, and we have mentors, and we also have friends. I have my family backing me, supporting me. I have my brothers who did the drawings and all, and I have a book coach, authors also, fellow who did their best to market the book, to, of course, yung first exposure during the interview. So this is the coins of wisdom. This are the words or the voices of truth coming from people. Even those criticisms, even those painful words, even those thorny words that you think might not be relevant, is actually important in becoming the person that you are today. So don't hate the person if the person is talking bad or is criticizing you. Take from those words, though it's painful and it's difficult, it's not going to be easy. Take from those words the strength, draw from those words the strength to tell yourself in the mirror or right now, I'm going to be better and I'm going to work my way up to become the best version of myself. So I hope I added some relevance or some value to your coins or wisdom bank today in this episode. And if you do want to know more, please, we still have a copy of the 25 Centavo Change, A Tale of Loss and Values Gain. And if you want to know more and if you wanted to hear more motivations as well, contact the Taraki TV page. And because we conduct trainings, we also conduct workshops for students, for young professionals, and for the young people out there, even for not so young, those who are young at heart. If you wanted to have more trainings and you want to listen more about these motivations, please do contact the Rocky TV. This is our episode on Coins of Wisdom, trying to dig that valuable meaning from those treasures. So yes, if you would notice, these are metaphorical. But if you go back to how our elders, how our lolos and lolas apos would talk, they always speak with metaphor. And I hope that with this podcast, we will be able to share those wisdom also from our elders. So this has been your host, MJ, and I'd like to invite you to reflect from this coins of wisdom as we move on to the next episodes of the 25 Centavo Change, A Tale of Loss and Values Gained. Bye!